Welcome back, stranger families, to another wonderful episode. Thank you for listening wherever you're from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And I'm joined with a fantastic guest in the name of Shayne. How are you, Shayne?
I'm great. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing fantastic. Today was a very awesome day. The fatigue, right? From moving, helping you, things of that nature.
Yeah, I've been doing this all morning.
Yeah, exactly, right? I didn't think it was going to take that long. I underestimated the approach,
The
time and everything. But I'm glad everything is done, and we are in a, I guess, rested, right?
Yeah, it's more of a chilled state.
Yeah, still, yeah.
So, finally we can just kick back because
Of course.
I've been going at this, all morning.
Yeah, I'm relaxed now. My thoughts are all collected and gathered. So I'm glad that you've joined me on this episode. So I just want to start off by asking you, how was our first encounter? Do you remember any specific memories from that?
Yeah, what I actually liked is that you're very engaging.
Okay.
So usually when I
Yeah.
talk to people, they're either not talking or they're too talking.
Okay.
And I like that, when we're talking on the same subject, and
Of
it's bouncing
course.
the conversation back and forth to each other.
Yes, indeed. The type of feedback that I perceived from you was just, you're very open, right? You weren't shy. And that's what I perceive whenever I select or I'm interested on who I want to bring on the show. These type of characteristics, right?
Yeah.
You're talkative, and also we share a background similarity in art, right?
Oh,
2D.
okay.
Yeah, I would like to speak about that in our next transition. However, though, I do want to just talk about your place of origin, just basically who is Shayne, right? Tell me about your family dynamics, things of that nature.
Okay, so I am originally from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
But the thing is that I don't really feel like I belong here. So,
Yeah.
like most people, you kind of want to be like, who am I and where I come from?
Correct.
And so I want to venture out and be like, okay, I moved to Vancouver, BC to study 2D animation. I actually got a degree in that.
Okay.
I got a degree at the Art Institute of Houston in animation. Video production.
Okay.
Which is kind of, they run hand in hand.
Okay.
When I was younger, I wanted to study animation I wanted to do animation for Disney. And that was in 1989 when I was about 10 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, that was I know for the rest of my life, this is what I wanted to do. I watch every animated cartoon. I watch how they study. I study how characters move and how the art is drawn, the different types of art.
Of course.
I absolutely love all the aspects of art and that as well. And so I moved out to Vancouver to go study it and improve my skill. And I had to come back because of immigration, and I had to, get the paperwork situated.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is a really long and expensive process. But by the time that happened, unfortunately, COVID happened.
Of course.
And then that's when they closed the country off, and then it was you know what, I'm just going to stay back into the U.S.
Yeah.
But in my spare time, I do a little doodling, I do drawing, I love to sketch. I do charcoal, gouache, pencil, quick sketch, watercolor, and I haven't dabbled in oil yet, but I'm always open to doing that. And I also do what is called, it's madboard cutting using an X-Acto blade.
Wow. This is very intriguing because the passion that you're exhibiting right now, expressing, just shows how much dedication that you have put into your craft. So I do want to commend you on that. In addition to that, you're very welcome. I would like to talk more about your childhood, right? This is very phenomenal that we're going into what you do as an individual. However, what was the inspiring, thing for you when you were little, right? That intrigued you into this scope of interest?
Well, unfortunately, I was always an outsider. So
Okay.
Kids would play with each other, but they never wanted to embrace playing with me. So I taught myself since I was little how to draw.
Okay.
So that was the inspiration. If I don't have anybody to play with and hang out with, I taught myself using a pencil and using the skill and what I think was the skill at the time, how to do the art, how to draw.
Fantastic.
And then through my whole education, I've done nothing but study basic art. I studied film and television production, what goes hand in hand.
Okay, correct.
And I studied communications, which is also a part of the
Yes,
art.
indeed. Wow, it's like the trifecta, right? The whole scope of interest, right? Communication, production, and also creating, right?
And then like to postgraduate.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you say that when you were a child, can you give me kind of like examples of growing up in Houston versus growing up in living in Vancouver? How would you compare those two?
I only lived briefly in Vancouver. I grew up
In Houston. Okay, can you kind of give me a little bit more memory, stories about your growing up in Houston? How was that?
I did not like my childhood.
Okay, but before we go furthermore, I would just like to say that this is my first Gen X, but she's so cool. You would never tell that she is from that generation. So can we just start off by speaking about your age and things of that nature?
I'm 47 years old. I'm turning 48 in August.
Okay.
So actually growing up Gen X was a little bit different because we had a little bit more freedom. So just for an example, our parents would be like, you want to go to the skating rink? Okay, here's $20. You spend the whole day there by yourself. Parents didn't care.
Wow.
The parents would be like, hey, you're on Saturday.
Yeah.
You wake up, you watch Saturday morning cartoons by 12 o'clock noon. You're out the door.
Exactly.
You did not come in that door until the street lights came on.
Okay.
In the afternoon, when your two parents are working, they give you a key, which is what we call latchkey kids.
Of course.
And you go right in the house, lock the door, don't open it for anybody, make yourself a snack, and you wait until your parents got home.
Yeah.
We had a lot more freedom.
Yeah.
But thing is, we had no internet.
Exactly.
We did have game systems.
Exactly.
Like we had Sega, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. We
Yeah,
had games to play with, but we didn't have like internet. So if your parents couldn't find you, they're gonna go to the neighbor's house and go, have you seen so and so? If you needed to contact your parents, you either go to a payphone or use your friend's phone to call your parents. I grew up with pagers. So.
Things were more, I guess, more cohesive, right? More traditional, right? People trust each other back then than today. Things were just more, I guess, innocent in a sense, right? Growing up
because
in your
didn't know
era.
what was going on in
Exactly, right?
That's why when somebody was missing, you put their picture on a milk carton. Like instead of the Amber Alert, we didn't have that.
Exactly. Wow. Okay. And now, fast forward to 2026, would you say it's, I guess, more easier or difficult growing up as a child in this era?
It is way difficult.
Oh, it's okay. How so?
Your parents are more helicopter parents. Because your parents worry all the dangers. They know all the things that are going on.
Yeah.
Because, you have CNN and you have local news.
Of course.
We didn't have CNN growing up.
So much just inundating you. It's like, yeah.
So, we were innocent back then.
Exactly.
Where parents were like, go outside and play.
Yeah.
Some kids would go in the forest and go play.
That's true. Yeah.
I was a city kid, so we'd be like, okay, we're going to go play 3-4 blocks down or across the city somewhere. Parents didn't care. They're like, you be back before the streetlights come on and before dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can attest to that because when I came to the U.S. when we made our permanent transition to the United States in 2008, I remember back in 2009 all the way to 2013 was the last couple years that I remembered going outside, playing to the, street lights came on, and we used to go into the forest or the little trails to do a little, adventure time, right? But that has all changed with the, insertion in the, of automation and technology and things of that nature.
Now everybody's on their cell phones.
Exactly.
I see more kids growing up with pads.
Yeah.
Rather than just growing up with imagination.
Yeah, and you mentioned the helicopter parenting, right? So in psychology, there's 3 types of parenting, right? There's the authoritative parenting, and the permissive parenting. The permissive parenting is what we have today, where like parents are trying to be more so friends with their children versus like an authoritative figure, right?
Exactly.
So
Well, it depends too, because
Yeah.
if you grew up with military parents, even in today's society,
Mm-hmm.
you're not getting away with anything.
Mm.
Yeah. But in general,
Yeah.
they're like, I don't want to offend you, and then the kids are taking over the parents.
Exactly. Yeah. And then now parents have to worry about their not only the realistic world but also the digital world, because children are getting bullied, harassed, things of that nature, right?
Like predators.
Yes, exactly. Right. It's so much. It's a multifaceted of ways that your child can be in danger in 2026. Okay, so now I just want to turn into a positive note. Do you remember any like charitable or like cherished memories that you had as a child? Any like fun?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Like that is hard. It's just spending time with family.
Okay.
Because a lot of times now everybody's either online or the families are broken.
Of course.
Whereas like I know that like for me growing up I've been going to my grandmother's for Christmas like every year before she passed. And that is like the one memory that stuck with me like since I was a baby all the way to probably my 20s before she passed. That I would go to her house every year. That's something I would look forward to. Christmas Eve, spending time with the family, and then going to Christmas with the and then the next day going to Christmas with the family. And it's just something that runs in my head. I used to go to a country club with my family when we had Easter and do the Easter egg hunts.
Yeah.
Another like family oriented. I love doing all these like get together for Thanksgiving.
Of course.
Doing family oriented things.
Yeah, that's very impactful, right? These are things that we, hold dearly, and traditions that we pass down to the next generations. And, would you say that nowadays it's harder to get together as a family?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, than before.
Well, I don't know, because nowadays it's kind of easy but hard. Like it's easy because now you could be like, hey, I'm gonna hop online to the airline ticket, and then you pay for it, and instantly you can fly out the same day if you want to. And so you can go see family. Yeah. But on the other hand, it is also hard too. Yeah. I mean, it's just hard because suppose you don't have the money because of the finances. Suppose there's airline delays. That there's like a balance.
Like a gray area.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, I just think that due to the introduction of technology, people don't have that that incentive anymore, that high incentive to like, I haven't seen my family because I can just go on FaceTime and see them anytime, right? So
that's what we're doing with school reunion, high school reunion.
Oh wow.
So like me going to a high school reunion in '97 because that's when I graduated.
Yeah.
So those people were like, "Hey, we haven't seen you."
Yeah.
Now the digital age. Why do we need to have them and see what people look like
exactly
on Facebook or whatever?
Exactly.
And you know what these people look like and what they're doing.
That is very true. Very well spoken. Wow. Yeah, that is true. That's the world that we're living in, and hopefully, I just wish that in the future everything kind of goes back to a normal, stabilized.
I mean, when internet first started, we were doing book reports with Encarta, and that was just all the internet was for because we had dial-up.
Okay.
And so we had very limited, like we didn't have is it DSL? High-speed internet.
Okay.
We didn't have that.
Yeah, we have 5G now. They're going up to 6G. It's getting too rapid, right?
So with us, we had put an Encarta CD in, and we can study by that.
Okay.
Compared to now, you could get on and you could be talking to people who've actually experienced it and lived it. And,
correct.
It's a very different world, and it's like somebody who lived through World War II. We had to study it through a CD. Compared to now, you can actually like talk and FaceTime and go face to face and see those people. I mean, talk to those people online.
Yeah, we're making connections through the servers, and we think that as human beings today in 2026, it's meaningful to have a conversation with somebody online versus in person, right? Because it removes the nervousness, a lot of things that human beings will actually, organic things that people express, they tend to get, shielded through the protection of the internet, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, that's very good that you said that. You mentioned military.
Yes.
Was your family in the military?
No, I only did junior ROTC in high school.
Oh, wow. Brilliant. My sister also did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did Air Force.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how would you, what would you say that you took out of that endeavor?
I like the fact that you learn structure.
Yes, that's true.
You learn structure and you learn organization. You learn to follow rules. You learn to follow direction from your authority.
Of course. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, what I learned is we had a hat, like a Air Force cap.
Of course.
And one thing that our teacher taught us was once you're out there, you're representing.
Yeah.
In uniform.
Of course.
But, when you put your civilian clothes on, you're just like everybody else. So, I mean, you act a certain way when you have the uniform on compared to when you have the civilian clothes on. You're just like everybody else.
It taught you that structure and being organized in that sense, right? Not the balance of life, right? I would say. Okay, my sister did ROTC. I grew up in a place where I had to go to private school because that was the prestige education, right? We had to iron our clothes and wash our clothes, polish our shoes. So 100%. And you got called out. Sometimes even like flogged, like with the damn cane, right? You got like whooped, beatings.
They did
in Nigeria, that is.
In elementary school.
Okay.
When you got in trouble, you go to the principal's office and they had the paddle.
Wow.
Yeah, the principal did.
The paddle.
Then it got bad because your parents are more authoritative. So being in the South, they would tell you, go pick your own switch because you're going to get hit now. Because you don't get in trouble at school, and then you're going to go get in trouble at home.
I would always, the culture shock was always something that was very prevalent to me when I came over here because where I'm from, Nigeria, growing up there in private school, like we got beaten. So when I would hear children disrespect adults or
It's a different
there wasn't any dire consequences, right? They were able to just get a write up, but it didn't actually invoke change. So that was a big culture shock for me that children were not getting hit over here or getting disciplined in that version. And then you brought it up that when you grew up, that was the last.
Everybody feared the principal.
Exactly.
Like growing up in elementary, middle school. Well, mostly elementary school.
Yeah.
Like you, where you get disciplined.
Yeah.
Everybody in our generation, my generation, we feared the principal because we're like, oh God, we're gonna get paddled.
Exactly.
Now it's abuse.
Yeah, exactly. It's abuse, right? Because of the politics and just so much red tape and things of that nature.
Now even parents can't do anything without people going, oh, we're going to call CPS.
Exactly, right?
But it used to be like, hey, if you get spanked,
Yeah.
that's your discipline.
Of course.
That was not like abuse.
Yeah, we definitely need to bring that back because nowadays the children, especially Gen Alpha, they're getting a little bit reckless, especially because of how quick they gravitate towards the internet. And the internet is another whole world. It's like the wild, wild west, right? So, they're learning things, destructive behaviors from that avenue and things of that nature. Okay, so now I would like to transition into, you mentioned COVID.
Yes.
What experience did you learn from that event in that time period?
The thing I did not like about COVID is I'm very active and outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
I worked during COVID only because I was an essential worker.
Mm-hmm.
I work in food wholesale. So I delivered lunches to daycares, which life still had to go on.
Okay.
So, of course, I had to have the shots because I was essential. We used to go in the buildings for the daycares, and the first thing they taught us is, no, you leave it at the door or somebody will come get it because we can't go in and expose kids. So what I learned, and it was hard for me, was since I'm outgoing and I always want to go and do things.
Yeah.
It's hard when everybody has to stay home.
Of course.
And then, when I was actually working in Seattle, I did get COVID, but it wasn't bad. And the hardest part was staying home. It was like a caged tiger, just building.
Yeah, it can be very demoralizing, right? Especially when you're so used to one aspect of life and it gets changed so radically, right?
I'm a Leo, so I have tons of energy. I don't stop.
Okay.
So when COVID happened, I did not have like fatigue. I had basic sinus cold, which is how I found out I had it. And my problem was that my energy ramped up. It didn't go down. It went up, and I'm like a caged tiger where can't go anywhere because I'm isolating myself from people.
Of course. Okay. Would you say that you use that time to focus more on your talent?
Yes.
Okay. How was that approach during?
I just had to make use of my time. I had no TV at the time.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, what I can do is I just started doing quick sketches. I tried to just pass the time with just focusing my energy on positive things. I'm also spiritual, so I also do automatic art, if you know what that is.
Please enlighten me.
Okay, so automatic art is basically you can, and I don't want to offend anybody who doesn't believe. You sketch, you just draw lines until you actually get a figure.
Wow.
I actually can.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. So
example.
What I have here, and unfortunately you probably can't see it on the podcast.
Yeah. I can definitely insert that image in our audio experience.
This
wow.
Is that, and then that was cat. There's a cat there.
Yeah. Is that like a fur ball or something?
The cat ears.
The cat. Oh, I do see it. Wow.
So the other is the guy in uniform. The other guy here. Then this little lion photo, and I haven't done much, but it doesn't take up a whole lot of my energy, so I'm just basically sketching until there's an image that appears.
Wow. Just like clouds, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, would you say this is very therapeutic for you?
Yes, because when you do this, it's meditative. Because when you're doing this, you're doing that stroking with the pencil, so you're basically like
in a trance,
yes,
in a pattern.
Yes.
Wow, that's very enlightening.
Yeah,
okay.
This is something that I started to do earlier in the year, and then I'm kind of just carrying on and doing this, but I don't do it all the time.
Okay.
It's like, okay, so when the mood hits, I'll start doing this, but the more I do it, the better the skill gets. But it's basically like this. It's like whatever you're scribbling, something's going to come out of this. It could be a spirit. It could be God knows what. But
exactly.
It's like I don't know who these people are, if it was people, but it's very therapeutic. It's very therapeutic to throw a pencil down and just keep doing the same repeated pattern.
Of course, aiming to see the outcome, right?
The other aspect of that is automatic writing.
Automatic writing.
So
okay.
people who are intuitive, they will do the same thing where they're taking the pencil and they are not watching what they're writing. And if spirit does come through, they're writing in the handwriting of the spirit.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're just doing this.
So they allow themselves to become a vessel.
Yes.
For that.
Yes. I can't do automatic writing because I can't focus on the writing part of it.
Okay.
The art is like where my
that's the talent. You know, the talent where the talent meets the supernatural. It's really brilliant. I myself, there are other ways that I tap into that realm through like people call it deja vu or prophetic things, visions.
So
you see,
you're basically clairvoyant.
Maybe I have never heard that word before, but I am very intrigued to understand what it means.
It means clear see.
Clear see.
So basically, if you see premonitions, if you see vivid dreams, if you see spirits, if you see things like you said,
affirmations, things of that nature.
Things that happen in the future.
Yeah.
That is like clairvoyant and what we call a seer, S-E-E-R. So you're actually seeing things that maybe other people can't see. Like I am not clairvoyant. I can't see
or sometimes when I'm sleeping in my dream state, sometimes some things that happen in my dream like manifest in reality.
That is premonitions.
Yeah.
So I'm what you call I'm empathic. So I pick up on the feelings of other people. I'm clairsentient, which means I can like if somebody's in a room,
Mm-hmm.
I can pick up like if there was somebody who was mad, and I can feel that energy even if
Yeah.
they're hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
The other is claircognizant, which is if somebody, okay, so I can't talk. Suppose somebody was sick,
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking up the actual feelings of them being sick.
Okay.
So it's like if they said, "Hey, I have a headache,"
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pick up that headache. I'm gonna pick up their anxiety. I'm gonna pick up if they had, if their foot hurt. I pick up the physical sensations of
Wow.
whatever it is that they're having.
In a sense, you're like a sponge.
Yeah. So there's a thing that you can prevent you from doing that, which is called you can call it shielding,
Yeah.
and it's an image.
Yeah.
And it blocks you from all these things that are coming in,
Mm-hmm.
so that I'm not getting all those sensations.
Yeah, because that can seem a bit, I don't know, like overbearing.
It is if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I can see it over because just you are taking on the luggage and the
So-
the stressors of others, and
And the
yeah.
thing too is, my technique I've learned is, suppose there's mirrors in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
but then you imagine them away.
Yeah.
So all these people who are angry at you, all
Mm-hmm.
these people who are bringing all this energy that you don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
it reflects those mirrors right back to them.
Mm.
So you're not getting any of that. You're just like, I'm fine. Like
Mhm,
for me, I have these walls up right now because if I let my guard down for any reason, I would be feeling your anxiety. I would be feeling not the cats, but I would be feeling all these different emotions.
Yeah.
So I keep my guard up.
Yeah, I tend today not to exhibit any like negative emotions because when I wake up, I have expire for I have my day scheduled in a chronological order, or at least I attempt to, where I'm doing this, I have this on this time frame, we have the pod recording on this time frame, so I tend not to dwell on negative thoughts because I have everything structured, right?
And
okay.
It ruins your way of thinking too.
Exactly, right? Just imagine sitting down watching doomsday, reports, news. Right now the world is in turmoil. I understand that, but I'm not going to allow that to define how I perceive another person,
That's why I don't watch this.
Correct. Fantastic.
I mean, sometimes things come on like my internet, with
Yeah.
AOL, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever I'm watching, but I get to pick and choose.
Of course.
I'm not going to sit there and read all this negative stuff because I don't want to live in that negative world. I'd rather live, you can't live in an over positive.
Yeah,
you kind
yeah.
of live in the middle.
Of course.
But I'm not going to live where everything around me is negative because then it brings you down and it can physically make you sick.
Of course, yeah. This is really philosophical what we're discussing. So now I would like to go back into your endeavors, right? Your occupations.
Sorry to get off topic.
No, it's okay. This is what this pod is about. This is what my channel is about. It's being your authentic self, authentic expression, right? Like you described in your drawings, right? Your sketches. Okay, so again, I remember I mentioned what inspired you to want to become an artist.
What inspired me is, here's how I look at it. I think somebody in my family for generations may have had it, but I'm not aware of it. And maybe I think it passed down and I didn't realize it passed down.
Yeah.
And like I said, since I was an outsider, I think just started to draw, but then it enhanced when I started to see the Disney cartoons. My absolute favorite is Don Bluth.
I don't know that.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
Don Blue?
Don Bluth.
Bluth. Okay.
So if you watch Disney, it's all happy and
Of course, yeah, animated and yeah.
watch All Dogs Go to Heaven. Watch American Tail. These are darker cartoons, but they're still for kids.
Produced by Disney?
By Don Bluth.
By Don Bluth. Okay.
So he's another animator, producer.
Yeah.
He's actually still living.
Okay.
So he does the darker side where everybody's not so singy.
Yeah, it's more realistic. Yeah.
So whereas Disney is like
Fluff.
yeah,
sugar coat.
princessy.
Yeah. Of course.
He for his animation American Tail, he did one about a family of Jewish mice that moved from Russia because they were constantly being attacked by cats, Russian cats. Moved to the U.S. where they thought they had freedom. The little mouse got lost at sea, so he had to go find his family, and so he had to. And then meanwhile, the family was still evading the American cats. So it's it's kind of what's the word? It's kind of like happy that he's trying to find his family, the little mouses, but it's
ironic in the sense that he comes to America thinking to avoiding that type of chaos, but then in turn, it's a living reality, right?
It's still a dark movie.
Yeah.
Because the family is still having struggles.
Oh wow.
So the family's struggling to find each other. In the meanwhile, there's on the other side, they're still having the cats that are in the U.S.
Yeah.
They thought that they were getting away from
that trouble, and then just to find
right
yourself in a bigger hole. Okay.
Yeah. Don Bluth's movies a lot darker.
So he was the guy that led to your inspiration of art. Okay.
I would have loved to work for him. He does have a art school. It's in Arizona. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But he does also have an art school as well.
Okay.
And I would love to work under him. Because his art is a lot like not so yellows and bright. It's a lot realistic looking. Another movie that you should check out is The Secret of NIMH.
The Secret
of NIMH.
Of NIMH.
Yeah, NIMPH.
Okay.
And I can't really tell you the movie, but it's very, very dark. And like I said, he used to work for Disney, and then he broke away and worked on his own studio. And then he got into the heavier, darker things compared to Disney doing the light, fluffy stuff.
Of course. I would say that I can relate to what you're saying because Disney does attempt to try to invoke that type of, feeling. Like the movie Halloween. Halloween. It was a little bit dark and a little bit.
Is that claymation?
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
No, stop motion.
Exactly, stop motion. Other movies like I wouldn't say Shrek, but like things that have.
But Shrek is DreamWorks.
DreamWorks, but that's still kind of like in the realm of Disney, right?
They're different production.
Different production. Okay.
Yeah, they are more comedy. I think they're more. I think they're more comedy, where they don't do a whole lot of singy.
Like more theater and things of that nature. Yeah, we grew up watching Disney, so I would just always have an affinity to them. Because of the memories, like Lion King was one of the big ones, right?
Lion King, Pocahontas was my favorite.
Yeah, Lion King. It it gives you that like.
That's when they kind of went dark and they started using 3D animation.
Yeah, exactly.
They started getting like I think after, even if you look at it in my generation, we had Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and that's Disney, and they went dark on that because it was. The first time they've actually used cartoon and live action together. And so there's some dark themes also in Roger Rabbit as well.
Okay.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And so then they started, I think after Roger Rabbit, they kind of started going a little dark.
Yeah, just, it's a challenge because they don't want to scare too much of their audience off. They want to retain that.
That Disney type of happy
fantasy, of course, and I like what they're doing with the Marvel superhero dynamic. Incorporating that. Marvel brings them billions of dollars.
And Star Wars.
Exactly, Star Wars too. Exactly. A lot of people say that they ruined Star Wars, but
But it's a different generation.
Exactly.
My generation grew up with Star Wars from '78 or '70s. Like the original stuff and the original Star Wars and the toys that we played with.
Wow.
Compared to now. That's the same thing with Legos. I grew up with actual brick Legos. Now kids can get on a video game system and play with Legos. I'm like, this is cheating.
Yeah, Roblox.
Shout out. The actual they can get on. They can get on Switch. And then they have they have the actual Lego, company Lego game. And I'm like, well, how is this fun when you're not even actually putting the bricks together yourself? You're having a game system.
Yeah, it's that effect is called the Jones effect, where it's everybody's going digital and then they want to also be a part of that movement because they don't want to be left behind and expired, right?
The baby boomers had a thing called Connects, whereas I didn't have that. We had it. That's when we had Legos. So it's always a generation down with with a better technology.
Exactly. Wow, that's well spoken. You know, I have an assessment for all the different types of generations that have come before me, right? And please tell me if this is as accurate as possible. So for the Boomer generation, right, I classify this generation as like immortals. Like they're modern medicine keeps them alive for so long. Like you're looking at the Chuck Schumers, the Mitch McConnells, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Bidens, the Trumps, right? Their philosophy is like the bigger the better. The more the better. They're very greedy and they're very immortal.
Yeah.
They don't die, right? And then your generation predominantly is the American dream generation, right? Go to college, get a house, marry, wife, the picket fence.
Actually, I think it's the opposite.
Really?
So the silent generation.
Oh, I forgot about them. Before the boomers.
Before the boomers. So you kind of got to step backwards.
Yeah.
The silent boomers, which is the World War One people, are the people who are like the immortals, where we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Then it was the baby boomers who wanted to be like, oh, the war is over. We're gonna have the white picket fence and the kids and the little yard in the front with the house and with the tree and the swing in the front and have kids. Then it was my generation, which is the starting tech generation. We're the ones to be like, oh, we have Atari at home, and we have we thought what was cool was we had the digital Casio watch with the calculator on it. I mean, we had our teachers constantly going, well, you're never going to have a dictionary in your pocket, you better go look it up.
Of course.
Now we have an entire world in our pocket.
Yes, the Walkman, you guys had all that stuff, the technology. Okay, then what would you say the millennial generation is?
Millennial generation had they were, I think, the very, very early start of internet.
The internet, yeah.
We didn't have internet in my generation. We had.
You guys had AOL, right?
No,
that was
millennial.
Okay.
Millennials had the dial-up.
Pager,
yeah, we had the pager.
Okay, you guys, okay,
but we didn't have
the World Wide Web. Like it was the millennial.
It was like when I started to go into high school to college. Is when we had it. Like when I had computer lab. We didn't in middle school and in high school. No, middle school didn't have any internet. We used floppy disks. Yeah, that's what we had. We are called the Oregon Trail generation for a reason.
Oregon Trail generation.
Yeah, so Oregon Trail is basically a game where you start off with these little characters, and you have to make it from one land to the next without your character dying. You know, so. And if you ask any Gen X what our generation's called, it's always the Oregon Trail generation. Because we always joke that our characters died of dysentery. Because it's a very hard game to play. It's a very choppy. It looks like Roblox. Very choppy because that was our graphics at the time.
Of course.
The other games we played, Number Munchers, which is like educational game where we had to do math. And then we also had Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, which is another like geography game. We had the games where you learn things. Yeah, valued, to increase brain capacity and things of that nature. Yeah, typing and
yeah,
stuff like that.
Okay.
We don't have like what millennials have, where it's
just sensationalism.
And they went to CD. So we went to floppy disk for my generation. They went to CD, and that's when my generation was like, "Wow, that is cool." Do you guys had the VHR, right? The actual, and then there were the CD one, DVDs. That's millennial.
Millennials, okay, gotcha.
We didn't have that either.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why
you guys were outside children. Yeah. Makes sense.
The late generation, like my generation, 78, we're also called Zennials because we're on the border of tech. We were like, we got the home computer with Apple IIe, but we didn't have the dial-up. Then here comes millennials with the next generation, who's like, oh, now you have dial-up, but it's very slow, but you're getting online and you're talking to people and learning things. Of course. Then you have the next generation after that.
Gen Z, which is us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say Gen Z has, contributed to, like, animation, 2D, 3D, artistry? What would you say?
They started with my generation, we had paper animation, 2D completely. Okay. Millennial was kind of going very early into animation, but Gen Z said, okay, we have a pad, we have the stylus, we have the updated computers, even if it's iMac. Okay. And they perfected that animation. They perfected the animation, made it easier for the last generations using 2D instead. Now they're using on the border, I think 3D. You're on the maybe on the border of like. If you look at Lion King, we're using that's completely 2D.
Yeah. Oh, we're now doing the 3D thing. I watch. Yeah.
Well, except the Stampede is 3D.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing was 3D.
No, the 3D is the Stampede in the Lion King. Because they took one wildebeest and they multiplied it, and so that all these animals can look like they're all coming at the same time. If you look at Beauty and the Beast, from that generation, the generation millennial to Gen Z. The ballroom scene, everything is 2D except that ballroom scene when they're spinning and they're using I think it's the rotoscope, which is making it look like the camera is turning around and making it easier for the animator to work to work compared to doing 2D and then having to play with and fix the camera. Okay. It's a more advanced animation. That's why a lot of the animators wanted to go to 3D. Saves a lot of time and paper.
It's more efficient. And then would you say Gen Alpha is more so like AI? Like, we're just typing in words and then letting the computer generate that world.
AI has been... okay, so people who have Android, like I have Android, we rely on Gemini. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, Gemini, Perplexity, ChatGPT, they're all multifacets of... so AI.
When I was having issues not lately, but in the past. When I was having issues, I'd go to Gemini and go, okay, I'm having this issue. Yeah. That thing has been a therapy and a lifesaver. Of course, yeah, it's another person. Because I didn't want to talk to maybe family members about the issues were and no judgment. The AI and Gemini has been amazing. Wow. Yeah, I was like, this is, and then I'm telling my friends who are also having some problems. I'm like, go put that information in Gemini, and they're like, "You're right." Gemini is absolutely great with. Yeah. Don't substitute it for real therapy.
But it's giving them a run for their money, though.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Why do I have to go to therapy if I have
also like I said, I'm spiritual. So if I'm having spiritual questions and I'm like, I don't want to go ask somebody who's not, and then get some weird answer, then AI is non-judgmental and be like, okay, this is the answer, and if you can't find the answer, just maybe reword your question. Yeah, I kind of want to date this back to the different I want to kind of circle this back to the different generations, right? There was an era, it was the gold rush era, right? The .com boom era, the AI era. There's always been that wave of something that has always captivated every generation. So I just believe that in today's era, there are more children making so much amount of money. That's especially TikTok.
Exactly, right?
TikTok, Twitch,
YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know about Instagram. I don't really see a whole lot of people on
there. Their influencers there, doing things and promoting their...
And then it started with the millennial doing YouTube, and people think... And then YouTube going, we could make a buck off of this with the sponsorship. And then that's when everybody else is kind of jumping that bandwagon with TikTok. Yeah. Or 100%.
Before Twitch, there was something called Vine.
Yeah, I remember Vine.
Yeah, so...
And then before Vine, it was... there was another...
Yeah, MySpace and all that things.
I remember MySpace, ICQ.
Yeah, indeed. So would you say, being a traditionalist, right, with your 2D, would you say that in this era, it's more advantageous or it's a burden to have to go, on that traditional route? How would you survive as a 2D artistry in today's generation? It's extinct. Okay.
Yeah, because even when I was going to school, the teachers or animators, both 2D and 3D, were saying it's extinct because, for starters, the art is outdated. Yeah. And there's too much paperwork, which costs a bunch of money, whereas computers, you're not doing paperwork. Yeah. And also, animators are spending so much time, more time doing animation paperwork, which is why Disney took longer to produce films. So suppose you're like, hey, I want to see this cartoon coming out. No, it takes 2 years. So compared to now a Disney movie comes out and you're like, oh, it's coming out this year. because you save so much time on on the computer compared to all the paperwork. And then if director's like, nope, we don't like this, we're going to scrap it, start over, do make changes, that delays the project, and then you got to wait even longer.
Okay, so how would you adapt to survive that onslaught?
I thought about that, and I would have to learn 3D animation. And also, the difference too is when I was going to school, I learned 2D animation, but the kids that were in my class are all Alpha or maybe Gen Z, and they had I forgot the name of the program that they had, but they had prior knowledge because they had that education in that computers and that 2D animation, whereas my schooling didn't get that opportunity. We didn't have the advanced computers they had today, where they had to jump on, hey, I'm going to go to school and learn 2D animation, and they had the computers and the technology at their high school before they graduated to do it. Yeah. So they had the upper advantage. So whereas when I was feeling like I'm a little lost in doing 2D animation because I didn't have the
software and the things to help you accelerate in your progression of
learning. I had to learn on my own. And also the math.
Of course.
The animation math, you have to learn calculus, you have to learn fractions, you have to learn algebra, you have to learn what was the other one?
It's very rigorous.
It is.
What about geometry and
geometry? Yes.
Wow.
There's a program called Maya, and you have if you're doing something and you don't know the exact precision of that math, it's not going to make the animation work smoothly.
Wow. And now they can just bypass that and just type it up.
No, you still have to do the math.
Oh, you still have to do the math with the okay.
Like even with 2D animation, there's a thing called in between. So suppose you're like, okay, waving a hand. You can't just be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and do it in order. You got to do the main points to do the animation, like the first, middle, last, and the in between is in the middle of the waving. If you're doing a hand waving, but then also in between, you do you have some sort of fractions that tells you where you are. So suppose you stop the art, the in-betweener knows where to pick up. It is very difficult. YouTube, I couldn't even understand the instructions.
Wow.
I mean, even with the teacher going, I need you to in between the fractions, where if I was to take it to somebody else, I have a problem with math, so it's something that I realized in animation I don't think I could do, but I would love to do background. Because
I'm really astonished that in a creative endeavor such as artistry, right? Like math is still incorporated.
Math is a big.
Yeah. I'm just wow. My mind is definitely blown about this.
Background, you've got to learn. What is it? Oh, God, I can't think. It's depth and perception is the biggest, of course, because you've got to learn where things go and on an even on an XYZ axis. So you've got to learn.
Different slopes and things of that nature.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a ton of math that people go, oh, I got out of high school, I don't need
Yeah. That goes into the dimensions.
Then you jump into this and you're like, oh, yeah.
And you're saying that in this generation, they're still incorporating those things?
Yes. Yeah, wow. in the program.
Wow.
Because if you don't do exactly, like for example, my character for my project for school, I had to do a flour sack that was walking. I couldn't do the math properly, so now he looks like he's tap dancing. because you have to know the exact
the right
number.
Equations. Yeah.
We had to do like a flour sack going through an obstacle course, and if you don't do the math piece by piece, your character is going to go floating all over the screen because you're not doing the math to calculate where that flour sack is going to go through the obstacle course.
Wow.
The jumping, running, flying, whatever.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's very calculated, which is what calculus is. Of course, you have to know a ton of math.
That's very impressive. Wow. Like I have more respect now for the animations and the creators now that I know that they put a lot of logistics into their art. It's not just like expression. They're like actually using the right side of their brain and the left side of their brain.
The hardest part actually of animation is doing people's faces and their mouths, because you have to know syllables and consonants, and you have to watch exactly how their mouth is speaking. So
yeah.
That's why a lot of times when you see them animating, they have a mirror next to them, and they're making mouth movements, because if they're saying something, people are gonna pick up on going, they're not talking right with their mouth gestures. So people are gonna pick up on how do the cheeks move? How do the mouth move when you're doing the animation? You got to have it right, or people are going to go, this is all wrong.
Exactly.
Or if they don't do that, the director's going to be like, you're not doing this properly. Keep doing it until you learn how to do it.
So in other words, you guys do aim for perfection.
Yes.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really hard because you're not just moving your mouth.
Yeah.
Your mouth moves your cheeks.
Exactly.
Cheeks move your eyes. So
Yeah, everything is in correlation.
yeah.
This is brilliant. Okay. So now I would like to transition into just like, personal questions as it pertains to like, when do you feel the best version of yourself, past or present? What makes you feel the best version?
I feel present.
Okay.
I feel like.
And how do you achieve that? What makes you feel that?
I feel like I had a hard past, but then I'm moving past that, and then I'm like, okay, this was in the past, and now I'm moving forward. And with a lot of guidance from my friends, and like I said, I'm spiritual, so that kind of helps me to push forward. And then with the help of my friends, it's helping me to be the best person I can be.
Okay. Just having that accountability and just
the guidance.
Yeah, exactly. From others. That's really brilliant. Have you faced any like trials, lately, or triumphs? Have you achieved any like, things in the past, 3-5 years, would you say, in your life?
Yeah, it's basically.
This is an achievement where we are. Yeah, congratulations. You did it. Yeah, this is a beautiful spot that you moved into.
I'm trying to tell you, but if I told you, it's kind of weird.
It's okay. You can keep it like super, surface level. Just
like most
try your best.
Tribulations is, this is hard. Okay, so I can tell you from. I can go back to spiritual real quick. Is I basically help befriend people. Usually they have some sort of issue. I'm what you call an empathic healer. So basically I take people. I help people get their lives back on track.
Wow.
So like suppose you're having an issue, right? And you're like, oh, I'm down. My parents are mad at me.
Yeah.
So what I basically do is I become your friend, and it doesn't take like an overnight thing, and then I pretty much guide you to get your life back on track.
Like a life coach.
Yes.
Wow, brilliant. Okay.
And I don't realize I'm doing it until your life is actually back on track.
Yeah.
And so it's basically, there are trials and tribulations, like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. But the thing is, I'm never leaving. Because there's always that sort of connection where the job is not done. I helped a friend overcome suicide by helping her meet somebody else.
Wow.
And she met that other person. She became, because I moved away, and she lost weight. She felt good about herself.
Look at you.
And unfortunately, it didn't work out with her friend, but that's their personal business. Then another guy that I met, he has cerebral palsy in the legs. He was living with his parents. His parents just recently passed. I became his friend, and he told me before meeting me, if he would have chosen life or death, he would have chosen death.
Wow.
So
it's very powerful.
He really had the hots for me, but I just kind of avoided it. So then he eventually found the love of his life, and he's living his best life. And so he got him back on track. There's another friend that I have that her mom is narcissistic, and she, my friend was like, oh, I really don't want to deal with my mom. And she was very timid and scared of her. I taught her to speak up and be brave to face her fears of her mom and, be who you are. So she got really attached to me, and I ended up helping a friend in North Carolina at the time. And my friend kind of moved away from me. Yeah. She found her husband, has kids, and she's living her best life.
Wow. So you're a good luck charm, man. Oh, I hit the jackpot, chat. I hit the jackpot. Okay, so I am very enamored and just filled with so much admiration for the fact that you help people get on milestones and hit their threshold. This is very fantastic of you. And what would you say is rewarding about that? Like what trade or what do you get back from that?
Is thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I don't want anything else.
Wow. So genuine.
I just like seeing that, they came in with a problem and they left with getting their lives back on track.
Wow. There's so many, that's a very good attribute of yours because we need more healers like that. I think the world has reached a point where they're just so super, I don't call it selfish, but just self-centered, right? About themselves, about what they have going on. They don't have time. But the fact that you can separate time from your life and then pour into somebody, like, it's like an empty glass analogy, right? You're a full glass of water and you're pouring into them.
The biggest issue I have is I'm a giver.
Of course.
So what I have to learn from that is stop giving so much to others. Because I don't know, and from a spiritual aspect.
This is brilliant, yo. I love this conversation. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, from a spiritual aspect, it's bad on me because using that cup, you can't pour from an empty cup. If I keep giving from to other people,
of course,
I need to learn to give to myself. So that's my lesson.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I will give and give and give and give, but then I think kind of hits my self-esteem a little bit, and I don't expect anything back, but I'm like, I don't push people away. They get on their lives back on track, but the problem is that I have this rejection issue where I'm like, okay, now these people are focused on their own lives, and I'm like, oh, they're not my friend anymore. Like, I do hear from them occasionally, but we used to be so close, and now
it's not sincere from their part, right? It's like they took the advantage in the moment, and then
I'm kind of glad that they got their life back. But I'm not meant to be in their life anymore. Well, personally, like I was.
Yeah.
And then it kind of hits me like, wow, I was really close to these people for a while, and now it's quiet.
You don't feel it's it's genuine, like disingenuous from their aspect, and it leaves you wondering, like, was this even real to start off with in the beginning?
But the thing is that if I stayed attached to them, they wouldn't get their life back.
Exactly.
And also, it just leads me to like right now I'm helping somebody, but if I wasn't helping somebody in the moment, life is gonna lead me to who I need to help.
Who you need to help, correct. 1,000%.
It's constantly just like,
wow.
Okay, you help these people, there's gonna be a stalemate, and then you're gonna be meeting somebody new who's gonna have some sort of issue, and you need to help these people now.
Of course. So, and it brings me back to what you said earlier about that type of shield that you put.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah, and the sponge analogy earlier in our conversation.
Yeah.
You take on that thing from people, right? Whatever that is plaguing in the individual, in a sense.
So, like, for example, if this person is constantly depressed, I got to shield myself from these people, because if not, then I would be feeling that depression. I've got to be that, not martyr. I've got to be that guide. Exactly. To help them. If I'm going to be depressed, how am I going to help them?
Exactly. That's true. You reminded me of a character from X-Men, Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she had some powers like that, where she was able to, like,
You can't touch her.
Yeah, it's something like that, to that effect.
You pull their energy.
Yeah, that's true.
And
okay.
I mean, that's how I am too. I'm not a big fan of touch anyway.
Yeah.
Because I do feel the energy of people if I do.
Yeah. That's real. That's real. Okay, so now this brings me to some fun philosophical questions I would like to ask you. Okay. If you could go back in time, right, to talk to your younger self, what message would you give?
I would really say I would be like, okay, first off, when you graduate high school, I would go join a program in Canada, because, like I said, I wanted to live there. But
that's the destination.
That's where I wanted to do the art.
Of course.
So I would say when you graduate, they have programs for the youth to stay there until you can get your PR, resident or citizenship.
Okay.
And it's like kind of like an entryway.
Okay.
I'd be like, go do that. Go graduate. Go to high school, graduate, and go do the youth program, and maybe you get your PR, and then I wouldn't have such a problem. And then go into the animation, because the companies won't hire you unless you're a permanent resident or citizen. It would be an easy way, like a doorway for me to get into doing the job that I'd love to do.
Of course. That's wonderful. Okay. I see that. I see the reason why,
It's harder now. Because I'm an older American, and I don't have the skills that I probably had when I was younger, or I don't have the networking.
That's okay. Once you have that talent, it never goes away. It's still within you, right?
Teachers were like, you could go to New York, you could go to LA, but the problem is that Vancouver is easy because you don't need a car. You could just take a bus or a train.
Of course, yeah, very
And
accessible.
Yeah, easy transport. Where California and New York, you need a, well, not about New York, but
Okay.
it's expensive there.
Okay.
In California, you need a car.
Do you think that Vancouver is the only place that offers that type of thing, or other places around the world, maybe Eastern Hemisphere?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the U.S. or as far as North America.
I'm saying just in general. Like, is there another place in the world, like Australia, Asia,
so basically,
things of that nature?
You have, other than Canada, you have the Philippines, Asia. I'm like, because they do a lot of anime.
Yeah,
they do
of course.
A lot of manga.
Yeah.
And the other would probably be Europe. Like,
Okay, so you have options.
I have,
Definitely.
yeah, I have options. Because like, if you've probably seen maybe My Little Pony, they send the art to the Philippines to do part of the work, and then they send it back to Canada to do the other part of the work.
Collaboration.
So it's not just Canada who's doing the incomplete project. They send it back and forth to different countries.
Of course. Cross-referencing. That's good. Okay, so this will be the final question of the day, right? I would like to know, how would you like to be remembered in history? From friends, family, in general?
I just want to be remembered by the people that I helped.
Okay.
And making a difference in their life. That's the thing that, I mean, like, when people like that I help now go, you've changed my life, you saved my life. That's the things I want to be remembered by.
Fantastic. That's powerful.
Yeah.
It's really powerful. All right. With that being said, this wraps up another episode of Stranger Talks. Do you have any last remarks or any inspiration statements you would like to
I like that you're
give
like
to them?
non-judgmental and that you're very open to everything I'm saying, because I know that I jump on the spiritual kick and I don't want to offend any of the people that you're listening to, but because there are a variety of people who do listen to and be like, oh, I resonate with that. And then you got the other people going, you know, maybe they don't want to hear it, but I don't ever push people into what, you know, like my religious beliefs or any of the beliefs.
You have boundaries.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. With that being said, this was a fantastic episode. I wish you guys the best. Thanks for listening from wherever you are. Till next time. Okay. Bye.
Hey, thank you so much. It was fun.
Thanks.